All right, thanks for joining me on the channel today. Today we have a super treat. This is something that I have always wanted to, I've always admired the Four Horsemen and their mythic legions from afar. I've never been a huge fantasy type guy. I do enjoy, to me, fantasy is almost like, I've really locked into it like the Warhammer and Warhammer 40K. Warhammer 40K. And I always gravitated to Warhammer 40K for some reason. Not that I don't find fantasy enthralling. I loved watching Game of Thrones. I love Dungeons and Dragons. I love playing it as a kid. My daughter loved it more so than I did even. But I've always been a science fiction guy. And again, I've always admired the work that the Four Horsemen were doing from afar. Every now and then I would pick up a little, like I said, like a little skeleton figure that they would make, or a little knight that they would make, or sometimes one of those little vampire creatures that they would make. But I definitely wasn't into them like I fear, and I say fear, I'm going to be into this line, the Cosmic Legions line. This is something that, when I heard that the Four Horsemen were going to do this, I knew I was in trouble. My wallet let out a yelp, and my heart sang. So we're going to get into this figure in a minute, and I'm going to just say it right now. I kind of feel like a hypocrite a little bit with this figure, because I've always been, articulation is highly important to me. So is detail, so is many other things, but I hold articulation above most everything. So, but anyways, we're going to get into that in a minute. First thing we're going to do, I had to really clear out a bunch of stuff to make way for this bad boy. He's gigantic. He's huge. Well, he's not gigantic, but he is big. He's a big guy. So this is the box you get for Kraggnar from Cosmic Legions. He's got a little story right here. If you guys want to see that, pause it and take a look at it. It's got a little shot of him there. This is everything that comes in the line. I've just gotten most of these figures already. I think a couple of them I didn't get, but most of these I already have. And I'll be, if this review does well, I'm really looking forward to him. And there's a couple other ones that I'm looking forward to as well. So we'll get to that in a moment. So that's that side. Here's a little bit about this, a little background about the universe he lives in. And again, this is the, box that he comes in. Pretty big box. Yeah, let's get to the figure already. I'm going to keep this box because I probably put him back in there. But if I ever put him back in, I need some place to store him or whatever. I'm like most collectors, the enemy of all collectors is space. Where am I going to put everything? Let's get to the figure. Oh my goodness. Kraggnar. All right, well, let's take a look at this guy. First off, first impressions is when you see him in real life, the absolute detail on this. Number one, he feels it's the detail on him, the quality of the material that they used on him. Look at that. Look at the audacity of these guys to make such a highly detailed, super well painted, sculpted, just meticulously sculpted, the details in it. They dry brushed it. They added washes. Would another wash in here work? It might even make it that much better, but is it necessary even? Would it actually hide some of the detail almost? Washes here, beautiful look there. This material is softer than my t-shirt. Anyways, the scales on him, the way that they meticulously created the boots that are these bootish type things that he's got on, his feet, I mean, and I guess that's what the Four Horsemen are known for, right? Their ability to absolutely nail sculpting. I mean, just nail the hell out of it. They have done a tremendous job with sculpting this figure. So much detail, so much just attention and color, and it just pops. You immediately want to take this thing out and start messing with it. So, all right. Now that we've got over the absolute magnificence of the artistry involved in creating this guy, look at that. Just the scales, just beautiful. I mean, just really beautiful work. So anyways, let's get into the articulation. And this is the part that, kind of frustrates me, but it frustrates me because also knowing that this is a big chunky guy. So there's going to be problems articulating him. And I feel that it's unfair to it's unfair to try to make this guy do what a Mythic Spider-Man or a Sentinel Spider-Man does because of his size, because of the way he's made. It's impossible. Well, it's not impossible to get the articulation. It's just, it might be way too much engineering and money. Instead of I think what was he, $70 figure, you're going to end up with a $140 figure if you add that much more articulation to it. And how much is the juice worth the squeeze? Is the articulation squeeze worth, is the development squeeze worth the articulation juice? I don't know, as they say in business. So I don't know, maybe, but is this enough? Well, let's take a look at it. All right. Number one, he's got well, let's start with the head, right? The head is a very simple articulation. This is all he can do. That's it. He can't look up. He can't look down. At the head, he's got nothing really. He can just turn to the sides like this. That's about it. That's all he's got. Can't do this. Can't do any of that. That's it. That's all he's got. It is what it is. I guess he can look this way. He can look that way. But that's just one point of articulation on his head, right? He can do a T-pose rather well. I had him in a T-pose earlier. Let's see if I can get him there again. So he can lift his arms up just like that, which is really nice. He does not have a bicep cut, but he can turn his arms in and out there, just like this. And he has a single joint here at the elbow. Not a lot of articulation there, but I think it's enough. I think it's enough articulation. This is freestanding, so you can actually take these off when you pop his hands. And it was really easy to pop these hands off, by the way. So pinless single joint articulation there. And of course his hands go all the way around. That's pretty simple. Same articulation in these back arms that you have in these front arms. They can come out all the way, and they have that one joint right there for his bend right there. So, and they can, kind of turn around like this. So you've got that. Oh man, just again, I'm hypnotized by the detail on it. I'm just hypnotized. I don't think this camera or it just doesn't do it justice unless you have it in hand. It just doesn't do it justice. So anyways, moving on, he's got a cut at the upper torso, which is beautifully hidden. Look at that. It doesn't even break up the sculpt almost. It's just shockingly well done. Wow. Yeah, he can twist right there at the torso. Just super well done. He's got a little bit of crunch there, which is really nice. He can go back a little bit. Again, the sculpt is hardly even touched or broken up by it. Shockingly well done. We see a little bit of break there, but just incredibly well done. Does he turn at his... He does. He can turn there as well. Somewhat turn. So not only can he turn up here, but he can turn down here some as well. All right. He can do the splits. Pretty good. Actually really good, better than I would have thought. So he can do the splits pretty well. He can turn he's got kind of a thigh cut there, right, as well, because of that ball joint that he has here. This is a little bit, I mean, I guess you could hide that a little bit if you pull it down some there. So now, so he can kick up quite a bit as well. So that was pretty cool. I really enjoy seeing how much he can kick up there. Kick back, not so much. Single, I'm used to saying double jointed, but single jointed leg, he can move that much there, or knee, move that much there. And he does have ankle pivot down here at the bottom. Go down that much, go up that much. So he has some ability to articulate. Does he? Oh yes, and he has kind of a boot cut there at the knee. So you can do that as well. And like I said, he has some articulation down there, ball joint down there at the ankle. Anyways, like I was saying, absolute. You know what? And this is, again, I mean, feel free to call me. I'm gonna have to move this camera a little bit. He's so big, trying to get him in all in at once. Just an amazing sculpting, amazing color, amazing attention to detail. Well, I'm gonna call it good articulation. Would I like there to be more? Of course. Who doesn't want there to be more? But I think for the size of this figure and the way it presents, I think it's enough. I think so. Your interpretation may vary. Let's take a look at some of the accessories he comes with. Of course, he comes with that giant, bludgeon stick. I don't know what to do, shocker stick, or I don't know what you would call that, club, science fiction shocker club thing. I don't know what it would be. He also comes with a secondary face. I guess this one's a little bit more serious. Here's the difference. Drop that secondary face. Here's the difference on the faces. Here's what he looks like there. Here's what he looks like here, right? This one's a little more serious than this one. This one looks like, oh, I'm upset at you. Now you're going to get it with all four of my hands. So you got that. And then you have these two hands are kind of grabby or can hold something. These two are fists. So he's got two fists. And then he's got, oh wait, no, this one is splayed open a little more. So these two are splayed open a little bit. See, these are the splayed open hands. I mean, he can still grab something, but it's mostly kind of open, kind of relaxed. So that's these two. And then you've got the two fists over here. That one and that one. And then the hand that's closed a little more, like this one. So he's got the pair of those. And then this one's another relaxed hand for the other side somewhere if you want to switch those out. So he comes with 1, 2, 3 pairs of hands so that you can have a little bit of an adventure there. So that's that. And then there's another option, which I thought was interesting. I don't know what the difference is here, or maybe, maybe some of his species may have 4 arms, some of them may not. So, or maybe he grows them when he goes into battle. I don't know. So, or maybe they're hidden when he goes into battle. I don't know. Anyways, you can pop those off and you can actually cover those sockets up. And this is genius because Hasbro would never do this for us. They just leave us with an open peg back in this ugly little socket looking back. But what the 4 Horsemen have done here is they've provided these two in case you don't want those 2 hands. He only has 2, and you can put this in there to cover that hole up and make it look whole. That was weird. Cover the hole up to make it look whole. Anyways, but that's what you get for accessories. I mean, what would I give this figure? Am I satisfied with the figure? I mean, absolutely. I really like this figure. I really like it. I think they've done a tremendous job with it. I think more than the articulation, More than this, the fact that it's a figure. Does it say action figure anywhere on this thing? No, it doesn't say action figure anywhere on the box whatsoever. Maybe it does, but I can't see it just like that. But more than the articulation, more than just the fact that it's supposed to be kind of an action figure. It's sublime. It's almost an undertone of the people that created this have a love of creating these action figures, of creating this. And I can feel it. It's palpable in this thing. It's just, you know, they really wanted you to understand we love to do this. And I could see it. The articulation isn't as great as I thought, but why would it be with the creature this big, of this size? You know, we settle for less articulation from Hasbro sometimes than what this creature has here. And the way that they've hidden some of the articulation is just amazing, and the washes and the details and the armor. Anyways, I'm going to give this guy, I think it's a fantastic figure. I want more articulation, and I've always used a scale of 1 to 5. Again, anything above a 4.5 is a fantastic figure. To me, I wanted more articulation, so I'm going to give it a 4.8. Again, it's ticky-tacky. I wish it had a bicep cut here. I wish we would have had better articulation at the head. So those two ticky-tacky things, a better articulation here at the biceps, if only on these two arms, and then better articulation on the head. And that's, like I said, 1/10 of a point on my 1 out of 5, 5 being the best. Like I said, I'm going to give it a 4.8. Fantastic figure. I would say in the artistry and in the way it presents, I would say it's one of my top figures. I really, really enjoy this figure, and I like it. It's so big. Anyways. All right, guys. You know what? Let's do a little quick comparison here. I'll shut up now, and let's just do a quick comparison I won't shut up because I'll keep talking, because otherwise it'll just be weird. Let's see what it looks like standing next to a Daredevil. Completely makes him look tiny. Just tiny, right? So there he is next to Daredevil. Let's see what he looks like next to Captain America Ultimate. Again, tiny. Just shrinks him. Do I have any big figures over here? You know what I do? I have an Ursa Major. Hold on. Let me grab her. Him. Her. I want to say there she is, but anyways, he is much bigger. Well, not much, but still pretty big. Look at him. He's a more massive creature. I definitely wouldn't want either of these guys to, here, let me get away from that. Here, let me put them closer together so you can see face to face. That's what they would look like. He's definitely still taller. So it's a big, massive figure. Anyways, way up there. That chunk of plastic is gonna crack me across my skull one day. All right, guys. Well, what do you guys think? You know, are you guys gonna start collecting Cosmic Legions? Are you guys going to stick with Mythic Legions? Are you going to do both? Are you going to be like I've done recently? I've really had to thin my collecting, cut down on some of my other things to go over this one, to go over this line. So I've cut up back on a few other collections as well, thinned out the herd a little bit. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with my rating? Do you not agree with it? Do you love Cosmic Legions? Are you like, this is junk, I'm going to stay with my Mythic Legions? Or do you like both? Again, let me know if you agree, disagree. Comments below. You know what, guys? Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. And remember, as long as you guys keep watching, I'll keep rolling it out.